got this right. We got this right.
All right. Welcome to episode 2 of We Got This, right? We do believe that it's no longer the ether. I think we'll have some listeners that'll be
Hello,
tuning
listeners.
in. Hello, listeners. And thanks for being on this journey with us. We've been really excited. We did want to share that we do now have an Instagram. It's We Got This Right. Please go follow us on there. We'll be dropping photos and different
Teasers,
Yeah.
shop items. We'll have merch.
Yeah, and merch. And then we also have an email. It's we got this right 2026 at gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you guys. We would love for you to email us your side quests of the week. And we hope to one day share some of those tales on this podcast.
Yeah, and if there's any questions or any topics you'd like us to discuss, I think that's a great opportunity too, because we love your ideas and hopefully cover something that you would want to hear.
And then that was a long intro, but I'm Julia Barrow, and I'm here with my friend
Kaylee Waldrop.
And we're glad that you guys are with us.
All right. So today, what are we going to be talking about, Julia?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think today will be a good idea to talk about then and now. And what I mean by that is what we thought life would be like. So I think a lot about where I am in my career or where I am in life and what I thought it would be like when I was younger and how different it is. I think we have all these grand plans and we plan out our lives, we plan out our kids' lives, and then it sometimes goes to plan, but not always and not usually. So kind of want to go through some of that today. If that sounds
It's actually funny that you brought this up for our topic because I've been quote unquote trying to write a book and had a book in my mind for a million years. But the first line of chapter 1 is life wasn't supposed to be like this. Or so I thought. Yeah. So it's like fitting.
Very fitting. And then maybe there'll be a book one day you can buy.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Gotta write that book.
I know. My therapist has been telling me to write a little bit every day. So it's on the agenda.
Yeah. Well, I think, then and now, one thing that made me kind of think about that too is that we have a baby shower we're going to today. And just looking at the baby stuff and the things that you think you need when you're pregnant and the things that, you really didn't use at all. So, and things have changed so much. And especially the one thing that stuck out in my mind a lot was having a baby in Arizona. I had mine in Washington. You did?
All 3 of mine were born in Washington.
Yeah. And so very different weather, climate, and not, more cold, rainy than it is warm. And I cannot imagine having a baby in 100-degree weather.
I know. And I wore Bailey and my middle, Kyler, a lot. And I would tandem wear them. So Bailey would be in the front, Kyler would be in the back.
That's so cute.
And I would wear them a lot. And I was thinking about that with wraps because the baby mama has wraps to wear the baby.
Yeah,
which is
it's
such a nice thing to wear your baby and be able to have 2 hands and do your dishes. But hot. But I guess besides, thank God we all have amazing AC. But to wear them at the grocery store, loading and unloading the car, hot.
When they go on walks or go outside, it's going to be so hot. So I was just thinking about that. And I was like, wow, when I was pregnant, the things that I wanted, the wipe warmer and things like that, you didn't even use. But
I never used my wifey warmer. I never really used my diaper Dini. I used it for a month with my first one. And then we're like, I just thought of $1 million idea. They need to make stroller baby misters.
Oh my
gosh. Have little tanks of water on the side and then just a little mist for the baby.
That's a good idea. Or the baby fan, right?
Yeah.
You have the little baby fan on the thing and then you could just periodically spritz it into the fan for a little thing, like water every couple of seconds. Pretty startling, but at least they'd be cool. So then and now, that's kind of what we're going to do today. I think it'll be fun. And
well, it is funny. If you think back when you were a kid, all your hopes and dreams, and we want our kids to have hopes and dreams and go for their goals. But man, life does throw a lot of curveballs.
For sure. And even now, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I've gotten all these degrees and I've done all these jobs. And then I'm like, I don't know. People will ask, what are you working towards? I don't know. The next thing. Yeah. So I guess to that point, what career did you think you'd have?
When I was a kid, I really wanted to be an actress. That's what I thought I was going to be.
But I mean, you did act.
I did some acting, a little bit, but nothing anyone's seen.
Yeah. Did you have a backup plan or was that it?
Well, then I thought I would be a drama teacher. So when I was in college the first time in Sacramento, I was doing musical theater was my major, and I thought I'd be a drama teacher, but then they were pulling the arts out of schools and I didn't think a drama teacher would be a thing, and so I kind of let go of that. And then after I had my first son, I literally delivered him and I looked at my then husband and this is what I meant to do. And so I've
Oh,
always talked about being a nurse, but I don't think it's in the cards. And I did go to school for nursing for a bit, but then I got divorced.
oh. Well, yeah, and you've been a little busy.
Yeah.
You've been a lot busy. I know. I think for me, I wanted to be a doctor and a teacher. It felt very typical. You go through school and you have these classes. So I did student teaching for a while. And then I was like, man, this is hard. Teaching is hard work. God bless teachers
Seriously.
because, I mean, sometimes you have really good classes and students, but then you're always going to have, those bad classes or the students that are a little more challenging. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I love kids. Just, I don't know if I could teach, um, but I do love teaching and being a doctor. I was like, wow, that's a lot of school. But then look at me, like, I've done school my whole life. So maybe I should have just gone that route. But no, I think besides having those initial goals, I set a goal and hit it and then make another one, right? I think it's
Yeah.
okay. I guess that's kind of my point is it's okay to have goals and have them met or have them change, right? Like, I think so many times it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's this hole in the ground that like
Yeah.
unmoving, can't change your mind.
That's
So
so hard to know at like 18. And
yeah,
some kids do know. I remember just being like, I have to figure out everything now.
yeah,
I'm graduating high school and I have to know everything now, and it feels so overwhelming. And I think it's okay to tell kids, go take a couple years of get your general education at college, or
mhm.
go do internship somewhere or do a trade and figure out what you want to do. But I don't think we talk about that enough.
No, because the exposure and like you said, the volunteering or internships is so important because you don't know what you're going to like and what you're not going to like until you do it. And unfortunately, you kind of get stuck into things sometimes because you are forced to figure it out at such a young age and then you don't like it. And so I think for my oldest daughter, she's going to be a senior next year. And she didn't know just until recently what she wanted to do. I forget what it was, but she's like, I want to go into like criminology or forensics. And she's really excited about that. But
So cool.
yeah, I wanted to be a detective at one point in my life, but I'm kind of small and not really intimidating. And you
You
kind of
can do it. I had a college roommate in college that went to the police academy and she works in corrections, but she's teeny tiny.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can
Do it, but
yeah. But I was like, oh, I don't know, because you got to go through the academy and be a police officer. Or, like, you don't just jump to detective. So I was like, okay, well, that changed a little bit. But
I
yeah,
do remember I wrote when I was in 5th grade, I did a project on astronauts and I went on an astronaut kick for a minute. I was like, I'm going to be an astronaut and I'm going to go to space. Yeah. And I want to go to space camp so bad. And I'd watch that movie.
Oh, I
Space
know what
Camp,
you're talking about. I wanted to
over
go so bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to
And,
space camp.
like, obviously none of that ever happened. And the astronaut went away really quickly once I got into chemistry and physics. I was like,
Nope.
maybe I'm not going to be an astronaut. But yeah, I went through that kick for a little bit. And when you ask kids, it's cute. All kids want to be a doctor, a fireman, a veterinarian.
Singer.
Yeah, like they have all these big hopes and dreams,
Mhm.
but we do need grocery store workers
Everyone.
and truck drive. Well, actually, my little son, he wanted to be a garbage man so bad when he was little, and we had like garbage trucks, everything.
cute.
Yeah, so like we need all jobs are important to make our community
yeah.
and our world go round.
Yeah,
So
definitely. And I think about that too, because I mean, I've landed in jobs that I didn't even know existed. And it's funny, this reminds me of the career days with my oldest and even my youngest. I would see the career day flyers and I would ask them, do you want me to come and talk at career day? Like nobody knows what my job is. They literally think I just sit at a computer all day and like do meetings, which is not inaccurate. But I was like, I actually do something and it's pretty interesting, right? And so I was like, I'll go talk about it. And Colby one time said, Mom, can you just lie about your job?
oh,
And I was like, which way? And she's like, I don't know, just like make something up. So, but like to that point, I think kids need to be made aware of what's out there. You know, we might have other dreams and other goals.
what are some of the jobs that you've had?
Oh gosh. I did medical assisting, so direct patient care for a while. I found that that was not for me. I'm too empathetic. So anytime someone would be sad or like, bad news you'd have to deliver, having a hard time, I would cry with them. Like it was kind of one of those things when like, you love and want to care for people. It's hard to do that day in and day out. And like bless nurses, bless doctors, because that is so hard and so draining. And I don't think people give that enough attention. And so I did it for 3 years and towards the end of it, I had Colby. So I was the pregnant medical assistant, like can't fit between the table and the wall trying to get the blood pressure cuff. I was like, I cannot do this. So I did that. And then I, have been in school all these years, but I did quality improvement in healthcare. All my jobs have been in healthcare.
What was your first job?
Oh, I worked in medical. Well, my first job, Baskin Robbins.
Oh, mine was a pizza parlor.
Yeah. I think it's good to start in customer service or food. But Baskin Robbins, scooped ice cream. I got tendinitis from scooping ice cream, the repetitive motions. Then just healthcare ever since. So right now I'm in compliance and privacy. So it sounds boring. And sometimes I guess it could be, but it's really interesting. It is like a detective in a way, because when things happen or, there's a breach of information, you have to kind of dig in and figure out, is it the product? Is it the people? Is it whatever it may be, the technology? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
But didn't think I'd be here.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, my first job was a pizza parlor, and then I started as a courtesy clerk at Safeway, and I worked for Safeway for 8 years.
Wow.
I was there a long time, worked my way up to assistant manager. But then when I was pregnant with my first son, I was, married, and my husband had a really good job, and I didn't want to work every weekend and every holiday. And so I took a big pay cut and went and worked in a doctor's office in medical records. And then when I had my second son, I started staying home, and I was a stay-at-home mom for, oh my gosh, like 4 years. And then when I got divorced, I had to go find a job. And so I worked at a bar.
That 4 years, though, I mean, if you can, and I know that people don't get to, but that's so beautiful because you don't get that time back.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's so hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is to be a parent at home with your kids all the time. Sometimes I think it's harder than a job, to be honest.
But I nannied, so that for a long time I had 2 kids that would come over, and I
on
would
top
watch
of
them.
being a parent. Wow.
And I would take all 5 of them to Costco, and everyone would be like, "Are they all yours?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, why not? I don't need to explain it.
And then like sometimes when other friends would be in a pickle, like I could babysit for them. And then I guess I did work at the YMCA and the nursery for a little bit, and that's where I would tandem wear Bailey and Kyler.
Aww.
But it was nice because my kids got to go for free, so they got some playtime with other kids, and then my kids got to come with me for free, and I made a little bit of money.
That's nice.
A little bit, yeah.
That's nice, though. I know I always wanted to stay at home, but then at maternity leave, or like I started to get that itch, I'm like, I gotta go back. I gotta work, I'm a very busy person. Like I'm always working on something. And my husband will attest to this and be like, she's too busy. But
well, and then for the listener, I don't work right now. And actually, I haven't told you, I did find a job like 1 day a week for like an hour and a half. Like super
Are you
simple.
doing it? Like, did you get it?
I start on Monday. I just stay home with my kids right now, and we'll go into that on its own episode one day. But my kids' dad passed away 3 years ago, and so they get Social Security benefits, and I've just really felt like my time with them and their grief is best spent at home. And we're so busy. I run them all over, and it's just me.
They all have something.
They all have something.
Multiple somethings.
I know. I was telling how to therapy yesterday, and I was telling her, I was like, I would love to get a tracker on my car that just shows in one day how I'm like all over, left, right, up, down, this part of town, back to that side of town, like all over.
I know. I'm always like, what are you doing? You're like, I got to do this and this, and then I'll be over. I'm like, girl, like, when do you rest? When do you sleep?
But I'm going to be working for the food bank, and we mentioned in episode 1 that we live in like a retirement community. There's a lot of retirees out here. And so I'm going to be working for the food bank, delivering food to people that can't come in and pick it up.
Aww.
Yeah. She's like, it'll be an hour to an hour and a half tops just on Monday mornings. And I get paid a little bit, and I get to go and bring food to sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Sweet grandmas and grandpas that can't make their way to the food bank themselves.
I know. I always wanted to do Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm
like,
excited. I'm like, I'm going to be like
I'm
giving
gonna
them Christmas
cry.
cards and
I know I would stay with everyone and just chat the whole day away. So, it's sweet. And some people, if they can't make it in, like, do they have people coming to see them?
I
You know what I
know.
mean? So this
It's
could,
true.
make their whole day. Not only are you bringing food, but also
Yeah,
company.
developing relationships
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Um, well, we talked about careers, but I think what surprised me the most going to careers and all that, like aside from careers, I knew I wanted to be a mom. Like you said, I wanted to be a mom. That's going to be my
Same.
thing, my job, whatever. But aside from that, I did not realize like expectations of adulthood and all the responsibilities. I can tell you my least favorite thing about being adults is having to figure out dinner
Oh my
every
gosh. I
single
know.
night. Like, oh,
I know. I tell my kids, so I meal plan and it's on our garage door and it's like this big sheet of paper and I write what we're having every day of the week.
you're
And
so good at it.
but it sucks because no matter what I make, unless we have pizza or spaghetti, well, even the spaghetti, one kid will hate them. The meat doesn't taste right. Like
Or the
every
sauce, or
night,
the this, or yeah.
every night someone is complaining about dinner. And I'm like, I'm over it.
Okay, we are back from an interruption because the Tooth Fairy didn't come last night. Speaking of things that I didn't realize about adulthood that would be so hard. Oops, we all stayed up too late, I guess. And
The tooth fairy wasn't able to make it.
nope, but I told her, make sure it's, we go to bed early and it's under your pillow. So Tooth Fairy will come tonight. Dinners, but yes. I'm just tired of it. I'm just
Same.
tired
I
of
hate
it.
it.
Like like what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? Like at least you have a list. I'm
That's
terrible.
what I trained the kids. Like, go check the wall.
Go
That's
check the
what's
wall.
for dinner.
I need to do that. I think that's amazing because that's kind of what my mom would do too. Is she would plan out the meals and it'd be on the fridge. We didn't know what we'd have any given day because like just depending on what we felt like versus like what was available ingredient wise. But I need to do that.
Well, and what I like about it too is, well, one, I don't get the what's for dinner question 5,000 times, but also I will look at what's for dinner Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and what do I need to pull out of the freezer? And then
Mhm.
I'll have the chicken in the bowl in the fridge to thaw. Or so it makes me meal plan. And then on Wednesday, I look, do I need to pull anything out of the freezer for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
That makes sense
So
because you have to plan.
yeah,
That's
but
my problem.
I mean, I'm good about it sometimes. And then sometimes I say, oh my gosh, we don't have time for me to make, X, Y, and Z for dinner. So we're just having chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. And it's a nice fallback because the kids aren't going to complain about chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. But we also eat really early. My daughter had a sleepover with a friend the other night and I fed them at like 5:30. And she's like, you guys eat so early. And I'm like, it's because we're gone from 6 to 8. And so
You
I've
have
just made
to.
a habit that we eat at 6, between 5:30 and 6. Well, my son goes to swim. So I always feed him before swim. So we eat early and then the kids can have some kind of snack later in the night. But she's like, we don't eat till 10. And I'm like, 10
o'clock?
Girl.
And
I
then
don't know if
when
she's
you go to
being
bed?
I know. I don't know if she's being facetious, but we do eat early.
Mhm.
But
I guess it depends on the day
got to
for
get the
us.
food in before swim. Well, Rylan swims 5 days a week. Yeah. So
Oh, true. They're really active too.
yeah. But yeah, depending on if you're home, like it's
Mhm.
not a true day, maybe it's a little bit easier to
Like flex on time and
yeah. Well, and it's probably easier to cook on a day that
Mhm.
you don't have cheer practice. And on cheer practice day, it's probably harder to
Yeah.
cook
'Cause we-
something.
And when we have to get there so early from a dinner perspective, and then getting home after 8 o'clock is too late. So you're like, what do you do? Did you have anything that's harder than you thought it would be about adulthood besides
Um,
dinners?
Well, I think, and we've talked about this before, not on the podcast, but just in general, but both of us are divorced and you're remarried, but obviously no one goes into marriage thinking they're going to get
Mhm.
divorced. But when I got married, I really put everything into that. And so single parenthood, I think for me, like I
Mhm.
didn't expect, and when I first got divorced too, well, when we first got divorced, I thought we were going to reconcile. And I probably held on to that for like 2 years. I really thought we'd get back together. But then once I gave up on that and was like, okay, I really thought I'd meet someone and get married again.
Mhm.
And then around year 5, I was like,
I'm
I'm
good.
good. Like, I don't need to
Well,
get
and you
remarried. And I think I've just formed such a, what's the word? Like routine. That's the word
Mhm.
with my kids and stuff, especially now that their dad's gone and it's just the 4 of us. It's the 4 of us. And that's the most important thing.
Mhm.
And I'm also scared to get, because listeners, we'll talk about this one day, but like my ex-husband did remarry and my kids had a stepmom and she wasn't the best to all of them.
Equally and
Yeah, equally, in my opinion, and my kids' opinion, by the way. But I'm scared to like, get married and someone be something that I think they are, and then,
Mhm.
you know, they don't treat my kids the way.
Or they get attached too, and then I think that's the hardest part is like they've been through a lot and you've been through a lot, and so I think to invite somebody into your world, into this safe space that you've built for your kids, I think that would be really hard.
Yeah, my middle, he just turned 14. He really misses the male aspect. He's a guy's guy, and there's not really any guys
Guys.
around. There's my brother, and then one of my cousins, her husband, are like really good for him, but they live in Washington and one lives in Oregon. And so he's asked me, he's like, Mom, why can't you just get married? And I've told him, I'm like, buddy, even if I married the best guy on the planet who's like fabulous, right? It's never going to fully fill that hole in your heart that
Mhm.
belongs to your dad. And that's a hard concept too. Like,
nobody replaces that.
so we
know?
can have like, I totally would love to have a super positive, amazing male role model for him, but it'll never fill that void I
Mhm.
think he wants to fill.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, doing what's best for our kids is the most important thing. And I guess to your point, I never planned to be divorced and remarried. So I think you want it to be the right thing if that does happen, but you're also okay if it doesn't.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm good. I have my routine. And you have your tribe. You
I
built
do.
like a really good, solid group of friends and community. And so I feel it's not like there's anything like lacking, I guess, in that regard,
Well, and I do talk about that a lot with you or, my therapist. I talk about her. You keep bringing her up, but she's fabulous. But I do feel like where there's been situations where my life has been really hard or I've lacked, God has put people in place.
Mhm.
And like, I really do. I am so blessed because I talk to other women and they don't have what I have, which is this really awesome group of amazing women who I mean, to have 5 of them, I have 5 of y'all
Yeah.
that like, and maybe even more that just on a, like when I
But
had
like
my
your
surgery,
people,
but like, yeah, my people, I have 5 really strong,
Mhm.
amazing women in my life. And like, I have my support system and my
Mhm.
kids can call on them and,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, and I think that's the thing too, is like growing up, I was kind of the oddball, like, I was kind of the nerdy smart girl. And so I had small groups of friends, right? Like throughout life, but nothing that really stuck. So I think that's a message that I want kids to know and hear and anyone to hear is you may find your people later.
Yeah.
You may find your people at different places in your life when you need them. But on that point is you have to nurture these
Mhm.
relationships. You have to put into it as much as you get out of it, right? Because it's a give and take. And I think so many people are like, oh, I wish I had a group of friends or I wish I had these close friends, but you have to nurture it.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard when you're younger, like the
Mhm.
then and now thing. Then friends come and go and you're like, well, whatever, I'll make new friends. I'll do whatever. It's like a season, like
Yeah.
season of friendships, but like good friends stay with you through the seasons.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's funny too because this street I grew up on in Graham, Washington, you come into the neighborhood and you go straight and there's houses on the right, but then you turn right and there's like a first street, second street, third street, fourth street. And so in the neighborhood, we'd be like, what street do you live on? I live on the third street. What street do you live on? I live on the first street. So we had these 4 streets, but I lived on the first street. And in that neighborhood, there was me and my family. And I don't know. The point of the story is 4 of the houses, including mine, that like the girls that grew up in those houses, I still talk to. So I moved there when I was 7.
oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I still talk to some of the, actually, I was texting with one this morning because my Facebook popped up with this trip we took to the Hood Canal
Mhm.
with our kids for the 4th of July 10 years ago when they were itty bitty. And I grew up with their mom and I'm like, look at our babies.
Oh,
So I feel like I grew up on a really special
mhm.
street too, where, and one of them, shout out to Whitney if you're listening, like her parents were so special to me. And when I moved from Washington to here, I had to go and say goodbye to her
Oh.
mom and dad and just give them a big hug because they were such a big part of my childhood. I spent
Mhm.
every Friday night at their house, I feel. And So
maybe it's just a you thing. Like, you're just a really good friend. I don't know. Like, I think it's easy for people to fall off.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, you reach out, you connect. And I think that's so important because this day and age, it's so easy to just get caught up in our own things, and especially being adults and having kids and being busy. Yeah. So maybe it's a you thing.
All right. Tip of the day, foster your friendships. Go
Yes.
reach out to a friend you haven't talked to in a while and tell them that you're thinking of them.
Yes.
Homework, listeners.
Homework.
Go
It's
reach out to
important.
someone.
It's going to mean the world to somebody. So we talked about what wasn't expected, but what has been better than you've expected?
Well, it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day that you and I should talk about this on the podcast, but we both have amazing mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you always hear from, or it seems to be like a stereotype, right? Oh,
like my
the
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law's the
Yeah.
worst. Oh my gosh, she blah, 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 blah. But we both have really great mother-in-laws. And even though I've been divorced from my ex-husband for 10 years, his mom and my relationship never wavered. And even like, to be clear, his name's Robert, but before he passed, I felt like him and I were in a good place. We co-parented really well, but yeah, his mom, she's been such a blessing in my life. So I feel like I got really blessed and I just love her so much and so grateful for who she is for me and the kids. And
if I didn't know that it was Robert's mom, I would assume it was your mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we went and made gingerbread houses and cookies to get like,
oh yeah, we did the cookies.
yeah, I was like,
yeah.
oh, now she's like my mother-in-law too. But no, same for me. I always thought, oh, you just don't like your mother-in-law. Like, that's just the in-laws, you know? But I have been really lucky. And my mother-in-law, shout out to Katie.
She's fabulous.
Fabulous. And I feel like we connect, and I feel she's so supportive, and she'll come down in an instant and help us down here. She lives in Washington. So, you know, just anything. Like, she's that thoughtful person sending you the cards and, you know, just thinking of you or anything. Like, just she's there for you. And so I'm really lucky in that regard too. And then on top of that, my kids are lucky because they have a good grandma, or they have, you know, so I think that is better. That is a good one. That is a good one.
Like, you just expect, I mean, I guess I didn't, by the time I got married, I already knew she was pretty wonderful. But like when I first met her and stuff, I just figured like, oh, we're going to hate each other and it's going to be
we're going to be the whole time.
It's going to be enemies. And it just wasn't that. Yeah. So I think we both really got blessed with good mother-in-laws. But what would yours have? Oh, go ahead.
Well, and to that point, and then, oh, sorry, I'll answer your question. But I like, they would always say when you marry someone's son, you're kind of like taking away their son. Like, no. They're getting a daughter. So I think it's all about perspective. It truly is, because think about it. It's like, if my kids get married, and maybe one day they will, if they don't, that's okay too. But how lucky is it to grow your family?
Yeah.
How lucky is that? So hopefully I'm a good mother-in-law.
Yeah, I think you will be.
Thanks. What was your,
what would your, like, if I had asked you first, what would yours better than expected be?
I mean, yours was really good. I don't know if I can.
We could just both say mother-in-laws,
but I will.
Mother-in-laws.
I will say though, with your kids, when they're just good days, like they aren't. It's not teenage angst or hormones or you're the worst parent ever. Like, it's really beautiful. Always in my mind, parent first, friend second. I don't believe that the whole I'm friends with my kids thing. It just doesn't work, because that's not your job.
Yeah.
They have friends. You're their parent. You don't come and go. You're not conditional. But when you have those moments where you're just with them doing something that you love together, that is amazing. Because like, I knew I always wanted to be a mom, same as you, but I'm like, wow, today we got along and we went and did something nice. Like,
do you ever have days where both of them are on a good page?
Ooh.
Yeah, see, same. I feel like my kids like tap out. Like, okay, I'm gonna be good for mom today, but bro, it's your turn to be really difficult. Like, you go give her hell. But I feel like there's always one, and even if I have two that are like,
but you have 3 kids.
I know.
I only got 2.
Oh my gosh, it's juggling.
But even when you're having a good day, even if I was having a good day with both the kids, they're not good with each other.
Yep.
Like,
it's
like, can we just get along? But
no, and we're about to go on a road trip, and we we did go to Disneyland last year for cheer, but this road trip's going to be even longer, and I'm nervous.
And all the kids?
Yeah, all the kids and Kate. So my best friend
Oh,
Kate's
good.
coming.
Kate will be with
Yeah.
you.
Um,
The kids are kind of good for Kate, right?
well, yeah, she can like I'll tell them to be quiet and knock it off like 20 times, but then Kate's like, "Oh, come on, you guys," and then they're like, "Oh, Kate said it."
Oh,
So
we
let's
love
listen."
Kate. Yeah.
But sometimes, because sometimes the boys will just get at each other, or Kyler and Bailey will get at each other, and there's just
No,
I
stop
gotta
it.
pull this car over. Yeah,
Don't make me pull this car over.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. The one thing as a kid, lights on in the car.
Oh, I know.
Do you know, like our parents
said
said it was illegal. And then I don't know how my kids heard that.
my kids heard it too.
But the other day, she turned on the light. She's like, "Are we going to get pulled over?" Because she was doing something. I'm like, "What are you talking about? That's not real.
Yeah,
Like, it's not real for
it's
me."
not real. I think though, because I have
Distracting, maybe?
I think it's distracting. It is for me. I'll tell the kids, like, you can have a light on, but not for too long because when I drive at night, I have really bad eyes. They're really bad.
Do you need... Oh, you wear contacts,
I
right?
wear contacts, yeah.
I was like, "Do you need glasses?"
I do. I have both. But yeah, it's distracting. I can't do it. I even sometimes have to put my hand on like the side mirror.
Oh,
on
when the
driver's
light's
side
shining?
mirror, if there's a truck behind me or something, because their lights are so like they're not even their brights. It just feels bright to my eyes at night.
Well,
So
and down here, which is very different than Washington, where it's super bright, lights everywhere, it's dark down here.
yeah, we have
The light pollution
light
stuff.
pollution cities. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really
It's
dark.
dark.
Like there's no lights, and so all you have are those headlights. Yeah, you're blind. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the whole don't turn the light on in the car. That's funny. Um, okay, well, it is time for side quest of the week.
Side quest of the week.
What is your side quest? Do you have one?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about it before we started recording. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but just I've been dealing with bullying on two of my kids, and navigating bullying is so hard. And my son had a situation last night, and so I called a friend in Washington who talked to her husband and got male perspective. So yeah, just dealing with bullying and navigating that. And I'm so grateful that my kids do talk to me. My daughter's situation's been going on for quite a while, you're aware, and we talk about it. We talk about it all the time. And I just tell her that, we can only control ourselves, and you have to stay positive and kind, and people's true colors will show. But yeah, just dealing with bullying, and I'm not going to get into it, but that's been my side quest. That's
Not really a fun one, but
a fun one this week, but
it's real though.
it's on my mind. I lost sleep last night.
Yeah. And it's hard. And especially
Hit in
when
my stomach.
like it's hard when one kid is going through it and any kid is going through it. It's hard when you're dealing with multiple kids going through it. And you've been dealing with it, like you said, for a long time. And you're like, let's stop. Let's just end this. And it's sad because I think that's maybe another thing about parenthood is you want to help them and support them and help them navigate and learn. Because even as an adult, we deal with difficult people all
Yeah.
the time, right? And we need to have these skills. But at the same time, some stuff is just so irrational and unreasonable. As adults, like we need to step in and like if it's our kids doing it, we want to know.
Help
And like,
facilitate.
yeah,
Well, and one of the things, because I haven't been able to talk to some of the moms, but with my daughter's situation, it's a group of girls and none of them are innocent. And I've told my daughter, even when if I hurt your feelings and you came to me and you were like, Jules, you X, Y, and Z, even if I completely disagree with you, I have fault because I did something that hurt my friend. And so we would
yeah,
just
like
talk
it
that
hurt
out.
me,
Yeah.
even if you felt like you were
Yeah.
innocent.
And
you know?
maybe I should have been more aware. And so I really think when there's a situation like this, I don't really feel like anyone is 100% perfect and clean in the situation. We all need to own our faults. But what we need to do is teach our kids to talk it out. We need to have a conversation. So if you care about these friendships, then let's have a conversation, which I think some of them are done. But how do we then move on in our social circle, not being friends, but having respect for one another?
And it's a small town. They
It's
all
a
have the same
small
friends.
town.
And that's the whole thing. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at
nothing.
all. And that's the thing. Friends can be friends with people. You don't have to be, but you don't have to be mean. You don't have to get a wedge in friendships because you don't like that person or don't want to be friends with that person. So,
But I do try and tell, even with the situation with my son that just happened, but what's your piece in it? So even though for the most part, he was not the instigator, something happened to him, but what is your piece in it? Or what could we have done differently? Because I feel like in every situation, even when things happen to you, what's the lesson here and how can you do better or what can you do differently next time is an important conversation. And I think it's important to teach your kids to be self-reflective because then they don't grow up with the victim mentality or like, I'm perfect and it's everybody else. No, what's your piece in it and how can you do better, because that's what we can control. And then we can try and see, the outside, but knowing what you can do is...
Well, and I think you shared the situation, which you said we won't go into, and I totally respect that. But also what you didn't do in that situation is almost as powerful as what happened, the situation itself. Because I think looking back, you could have freaked out. You could have done this. It could have gotten physical. It could have whatever. But not doing those things is just as powerful, because you can escalate a situation. And there's so much power in removing yourself, like getting away from the situation.
I'm going to have to talk to Kyler about that because you're talking about Kyler's situation, right? Yeah, because that's what my friend, when I called Brooke this morning and sobbed to her, she's like, tell Kai kudos for like removing himself from the situation, because he could have beat the crap out of that kid and it probably would have been
way worse having a different conversation.
But he just removed himself from the situation. It was a really crappy situation. But that's what my friend said too. And she said, and then she talked to her husband and got like the male perspective. And her husband said the same thing. He's like, tell Kyler, good job. Like he just left the situation and good for him.
And that's not easy.
That's not easy.
Really not easy.
Yeah.
I think that's hard. And I dealt with bullying, in school a lot. And I feel I have the perspective of what it feels like, but also like I never wanted to be that bully either, because like,
you know what it
felt like. And it can make or break, experiences. Like my whole school life journey, elementary through high school, horrible. And it's so hard being a kid. Like things feel so big and you never know what someone's going through. And I had so many experiences where I stood up for somebody because they were being bullied or whatever. And then hearing from that person, like, learn what they're going through, and then bullying on top of that, have some respect, have some empathy, have some restraint. No one's perfect, to your point, but why make someone else feel like hurt people?
Yeah.
Right. But like,
and that's what
reflect.
you've said to my daughter a couple times about. Yeah. And I think that I've talked to my kids about that a lot, with their journey over the last 3 years, losing their dad. We removed ourselves from their stepmom and losing Washington. Like there's been a lot of loss, and my family's still up there. And you don't know what anybody is working through. And it reminds me when I got divorced on September 16th of 2016, like we did all the paperwork ourselves. We just appeared in court, signed off on it. And I remember walking out the door and walking down this long hallway, and there was all these jurors waiting to get into rooms or be questioned or whatever, but there was a whole hallway full of people. And I was telling myself, don't cry till you get to the car. Don't cry till you get to the car. Don't cry till you get to the car. And I smiled at people and tried to just hold my head up high and walk down this hallway. And I remember thinking, none of these people know how broken I am inside right now. I'm just a person to them, but I just had the worst 5 minutes of my life, and I'm completely shattered, and not one person I'm walking by knows that.
No.
Yeah,
you
just
never know.
Yeah.
And life is heavy. Life is so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And, my experience was a little like that too. I self-represented for my divorce, but it was very one-sided. The other party wasn't present. But I remember walking out of the room, down the steps, down the hill, and just same thing. I just got in the car and then I started crying. It's kind of like, isn't that amazing as moms, as adults, how we can do it all, no matter what we're going through?
Oh, do you want to hear the worst? You guys, true story. This will be in my book one day. So I was running late because I had the kids and like getting to court for my divorce. And I had to parallel park in downtown Tacoma on a hill, like parallel park on a hill, blah, blah, blah. I get out of my divorce. I get to my car. I sit down. I just burst into tears, and I had a freaking ticket on my window.
Oh no.
I'm not even kidding you. So not only that, but I had a parking violation on my car after my divorce.
Why was it? Were you in a...
They said that my bumper was like a little bit over because there was like an alley.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm talking
Barely.
2 inches. Yeah. And I had a ticket.
And they didn't know what you were going through.
No, and they gave me a freaking ticket.
How rude.
I know.
Ugh.
Okay, so Sorry, you guys, we want our podcast to be real and real with you. And like Kaylee
Yeah.
just said, life is heavy. And so sometimes there will be heavy stuff. And we do want to eventually talk about like grief and sobriety and health issues. And
We'll warn you.
yeah, so there, yeah, but we just want to be real. And
Yeah.
like, life isn't always lollipops and rainbows. So
No, it's not.
what's your side quest of the week?
Okay. Mine, I was just kind of going through it, feeling kind of down. And my favorite thing to do when I am going through it is buying books.
Oh, yeah.
Or so I was like, hey, to my youngest, you want to go to the bookstore with me? And so we just went to this little bookstore in this town next to us, and it's always a good date. Like I tell her, if I can find one book that I'm looking for that's on my TBR list, then it's a good day. So I found a book that's on my list. I think it's called Heartless Hunter for the readers out there. It's rated really high, so it'll be on the list. It was really nice. And then we went to lunch and we just sat down together. And yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, you've had a rough health week.
Yeah, I've had migraines all week and just.
But like through it all, you like put together our Instagram page and our link tree and like you rocked it out.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, that's life, right? You still push on and do the things, but it was nice to treat myself to a book and some ice cream and a date with my daughter, having those good days. And so yeah, that was side quest of the week.
Side quest of the week. Do you want to do rapid fire?
Sure. You want to start?
Sure. All right. What is your biggest fear?
Biggest fear? Oh, that's a good one. I feel like I don't have a lot of fears, but maybe a failure. I'm not scared of a lot of things. Or, my brother's scarred me for life. Going upstairs in the dark, I have to like run up the stairs so whatever doesn't get me. You know what I'm talking
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. Celebrity crush. Like maybe
then
when
and
you were a
now?
kid and then and now. Let's keep it that theme. Like celebrity crush. Oh, I know both of mine.
Okay, I see your face. You're hilarious. Okay. Ooh, then it was Nick Carter, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
That blonde little bowl cut thing.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's popping in my mind. And now I would say, I don't really have one now, but like a while ago, and my husband always gives him crap for this, but it was Bradley Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's good looking.
like older, a little bit, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite store?
Ooh, I really like Amazon because everything gets here really quickly.
Yeah.
But I think from like a shopping, go in, buy stuff, I would say,
Not the bookstore in Tucson.
Ooh, thank you, Bookman's.
Yeah. All right, last one. What made you feel rich when you were a kid and what makes you feel rich now?
Oh my gosh. Rich as a kid, I feel like if I had a lot of candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a new video game or a new book. Or when I would trick my mom into getting the 18 CDs for a penny out of the catalog, and then she'd get charged for a lot of money, and I'd be like, I didn't know. I really didn't the first time, but maybe the second and third. But getting all those CDs and then just having a CD day with like the lyrics and anyways. And now I feel with health issues, having a good health day, the kids, getting along with your kids, having the kids get along, going on a date with my husband. I teach Sunday school too. I love a good Sunday school day where the kids are just locked in and they ask good questions. And I love spending time and coaching. I love spending time with kids and they learn something and they're just proud of themselves. So there's so many things and it's so different from then to now.
Yeah.
What you value and what makes you feel rich. So, okay, your turn. Biggest fear.
Bats. Although living here, I've kind of
There's so many bats.
Yeah, I have such a fear of bats. I used to just see one and cry. It was that bad. But it was because when I was in high school, I worked on a sheep farm, my friend's family's farm. And we used to drive the truck out in the middle of the field, in the middle of nowhere on the property and like sleep in the back of the truck. And we're warm, so bugs are near us. And so the bats used to swoop low to get the bugs near our faces.
That's
and
terrifying.
I just would like dream about a bat getting like stuck in my hair or something. So bats, but I've kind of overcome it. And then losing people is like a big one. I think about it all the time, having lost the kids as dad. And I lost a lot of cousins when I was younger, like just loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been
Like
through a lot. Like, so
fear of death. I don't fear death, but
of experiencing
yeah.
it.
Or
Yeah.
like losing my kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my fear.
And that's very reasonable. Oh, celebrity crush. You're waiting on this
yeah, I
one.
was waiting. When I was a kid, it was JTT, Jonathan Taylor
Oh,
Thomas. I had Jonathan Taylor Thomas wallpaper. My room was the downstairs technical like family room, so it was like a huge room, and I had wall to wall Jonathan.
wait, so you were like the Tiger Beat, like get the
Yes.
magazine. Okay,
Put
okay.
them all over my wall. I mean, I had a little corner for like Hanson and Backstreet Boys
Ooh,
and Spice
Hanson.
Girls and stuff. Yeah, I did like Hanson. But my wall was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And I saved all of those. I had them in a box until college. And one of my college boyfriend's friends thought it would be funny to burn them. I
Oh
was
my gosh.
devastated.
I just saw a thing though that no kids these days don't know who JTT is.
Yeah, he's not on anything. He went to college. The thing though is like he stopped growing.
Oh yeah, he's kind of short.
short.
And you're tall.
And I'm very tall. And so
We'll have to leave it in the
Why
then.
are you 6'5"? So JTT, huge JTT fan. And then now I am in love with and obsessed with Ryan Gosling.
Okay, so Ken.
Yeah.
He's just Ken.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's your 10.
Yeah. And he seems like such a good husband and is such a good dad.
Yeah.
And he's funny and he can dance and he's like self-deprecating in the best way. He makes fun of
Like
his,
he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
Ryan, if you're listening, I love how you treat your wife and your
yay,
girls.
shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a good Ken.
If he's
No,
listening.
if you're listening, maybe one day he will. We can tag him.
Yeah.
We can see. That's so funny. And then what made you feel rich then, and what makes you feel rich now?
Yeah, we've talked about this. We both grew up pretty poor.
Mhm.
So just getting anything new. So
Yeah.
something that wasn't like from the Goodwill, or we had a lot of clothing store at our church. So we'd get a lot of clothes like for free from our church. So like getting anything that was brand new was really special to me. Even I remember getting my first CD for my 14th birthday. It was the Titanic soundtrack.
Oh,
And being so thrilled for that. Anything new when I was little. And then now I do think about how lucky I am to be able to be a stay-at-home mom right now. I think about, and I feel, listeners, we're both Christians, so we'll talk about God. I don't want this to be a religious or political podcast, but like God's going to come into things.
yeah.
But every time I start to really job search, like look for like 3-day a week part-time job or something like that, something happens with one of my kids that reminds me, nope, you don't have the time. This is where you need to be. But I just feel $2,000 a month would make a huge difference for us. Like I am struggling.
Any amount. Like
I'm in debt. I was told there'd be money coming my way that's not coming. And just being able to be with my kids right now, like I feel that they need me and I need them and we need each other. And so being able to be there and be at, everything. I'm at all of my son's swim meets. I'm at all of my daughter. Well, I coach, but like her cheer competitions and my son for Boy Scouts. I was able to help volunteer on their some of their fundraising. And so that's a blessing. And I know it's a blessing.
And showing up matters.
Yeah.
When they look back, as they get older, my mom was always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kids know and they feel it and they remember when you're not.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think my middle son plays in the school band and he's really good at it. It's his passion. He's been playing for 4 years now. And his first band performance here in Arizona, I was sitting there and I was the only one there. And I started sobbing because
only one there for him.
Yeah, I was the only person there for him. And when we lived in Washington, they would have my dad, my brother, me, their stepmom, their dad's mom and papa. And it's harder for my mother-in-law and father-in-law to get out here because it's so dark at night. So they don't like to drive in the dark, where, like you said, in Washington, there's street lights and everything. It's easier to drive at night there. So I just think showing up like really matters, because where they used to have like 10 people, now they a lot of the times just have one. So
yeah. And if you can show up, like we talked about this earlier, for other people, do it. When I heard about Bailey's thing, her dance recital, it's like, yeah, I'll be there. Or if I knew about that, like, I'll be there. I think it's so important, because even down here for us, we don't have a ton of people either. I have a really big family, and friends up in Washington and all of that. So, yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's definitely less. So show up for people.
Show up for people.
That's right.
That's your second homework. So your homework so far, listeners, if you're taking notes, is to reach out to somebody and show up for somebody.
There you go. And it might be the same person. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I think that's what we have today. And I think the whole moral of the story, in my mind, and just thinking about it, and kind of the inspiration for this episode 2, was that life is very different than I expected it to be, but also, and maybe harder in a lot of different ways, but also really beautiful in a lot of ways too. And we talked about friendships, like my friendships are richer and I can be more selective in who I have in my life and the things I, put effort and time and energy
Invest in,
and
yeah.
and you can be selective and you can be honest because we're grown and we can have hard conversations. But being parents and adults, it is hard. It is hard, but we keep on keeping on. So
Right. I think too, some episodes might feel heavier and some episodes will be light and funny, but just keeping it real and working through things together and knowing that you're not alone, right? I'm sure I'm not the only mom out there that's dealing with bullying and not the only mom out there that's dealing with health issues and trying to just get out of bed and do the things you need to do, or not the only mom that's struggling to make dinner 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So we just want to be on this journey together and develop community. And if you guys want to email in, again, that's we got this right, 2026@gmail.com. And also let us know. So your side quest of the week, if you want to write us something about that, or what you thought like then and now, what you thought life would be like your younger self versus like what it looks like now. We'd love to hear from you. And just make sure anything you share, you're okay with it potentially being shared on the podcast. And you can say if you don't want us to share your name. So if you write in and you sign it off, Julia, but say do not use our name or do not use my name, then we can share your story, but leave your name out. So
yeah, and some of the details, if we know that maybe it can identify you, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. It'd mean a lot, and
but
all the
check out
support.
our Instagram. Tell your friends if you're enjoying the show to go take a listen, and we appreciate you guys. And we'll see you next week.
We got this.
Yeah, we got this. Right.
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 Right. Bye.
Bye.